Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are back with the IDM, the International Draft Masters, or whatever it's called. And we are facing my boy Sebi, aka OP Dragon Knight, and his Montreal Monfernos, one of our closest friends in the community and a long-time rival in the ITL and NPL. So this should definitely be a fun one. He started the season 1 and 0. I started the season 1 and 0, and this should be like very very fun game. Um, and built a really cool and fat squad that I'm like really proud of because it like covers almost every threat that he could throw at me, which is hype. Looking at my team, I want to team builder obviously this week. I bring a Rocky helmet, mostly physically defensive Crocodile with Stealth Rock, Toxic, Knockoff, and Earthquake. It's one of my checks to the Zardex. It also gets up rocks very reliably because it can potentially beat my opponent's rocker, which is my opponent's spinner, which is the fortress. Um, it can like toxic everything that wants to come in, especially the tank rope, which is nice. Can do quite some damage to Reuniclus, knock off Clefable's item, shit like that, and just be like a nuisance to deal with my opponent. And looking at my opponent's team, Crocodile basically only has to come in on the Charizard or the Fortress, which is super hype. So I will probably be able to keep this thing fairly healthy and do a good job with it. Um, Talonflame makes his debut here. Um, very hyped to use this thing. It has a Charty Berry this week. It's a very bulky Talon with enough speed for Keldeo. It's a Brave Bird, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, and Roost, like kind of stall breaker set, which shuts down the Tangrowth, can beat the Clefable unless it packs Thunderbolt. Revenges Keldeo unless it's Scarf, can prevent Reuniclus from um, setting up calm minds and like Willow's fortress, which is cool, and and can potentially taunt it to prevent stealth rock. Mega Slowbro comes back. It's one of my fave sets built so far. Rest Talk, Side Shot, Calm Mind, max HP and close to max special defense. It's my Keldeo check as well as a potential sweeper because once I get to +2, nothing can really stop me on my opponent's team because nothing can crit me and I can like take um, 3 Giga Drains from Tangrowth potentially. Just get to +6 potentially with the Rest Talk and then fire off Side Shocks that guarantee me to beat my opponent's team unless he's obviously what's called unaware Clefable, which is definitely an option because I have a lot of setup potential on my team. But definitely looking like a very solid win condition. And it's also a very solid switch into Keldeo as to scout for whatever he wants to pack versus me, Scarf or Specs. I can just switch in a regular form, take the hit, identify my opponent's set, and then like pivot out, keep my regenerator until I have to Mega Evolve, and then go from there. Um, Delmice is my backup check to Keldeo this week. It's Anchor Shot, Giga Drain, Rapid Spin, and Toxic, especially defensive with leftovers. I didn't feel like bringing AV because I want to get off a Toxic on a potential Tangrowth, switch them because otherwise Tangrowth would easily like be able to always come in on Delmice, fire off knockoffs or Giga Drains to like chip down my stuff, and I don't want that to happen. So I want to have the Toxic to put everything on a timer that wants to come in. Anchor Shot does quite a solid amount to Clefable and allows me to like trap it and then go for free into Talonflame or Magearna once I identify the set. Licky Licky is a Dragon Tail set with Rocky Helmet, Wish Protected, Heal Bell. I figured Heal Bell was really nice because I know my man Sebi likes to run Toxic on his stuff, likes to use status move and like slowly whittle down opposing teams. Excuse me. And like don't want that to happen. I want to be able to keep my squad healthy, even the monsters that like don't have recovery like Crocodile or Delmice, as well as Medina. I want them to like abuse the fat wishes that Licky Licky passes, and like always stay healthy, which would come in very handy. Um, Dragon Tail is here just so that Zard can't set up in my face, and just wanna like what's called phase it out, obviously with my Licky Licky, and then like potentially Wish Pass or whatever wants to set up on me. If Reuniclus is a setup variant that's not too bad, I can like just Dragon Tail it out as well. And if he brings the Carmine Clefable, I can like just Wish Pass into Magearna and get a safe switch. And Magearna is a hard swap variant with that basically kind of shuts down CM Reuniclus and CM um, Clefable, so that's kind of cool. His Flare Cannon, Flash Cannon, Hard Swap, and also Carmine because Carmine could actually come in handy to break a potential AV10 growth later in the game. So that's kind of cool. Whoops, my phone goes off. I can just there it goes. So sorry for that, but yeah, looking at my opponent's team, Talonflame looks like a fairly safe lead in my opinion. It like prevents Fortress from setting up rocks with the taunt. It can prevent Reuniclus from doing too much if it wants to lead off and set up Carmines right at the beginning of the game. Prevents Clefable from setting up rocks. Also checks like a Tangrowth lead. Beats like the Keldeo with with the Brave Bird and like kinda also could potentially stay on Charizard. So I don't lose much by leading off Talonflame. As Sabi actually decides to lead off Charizard, kind of makes sense because he obviously wants to get off his Mega right away because he sees that I um, can spin block his Fortress, and like if I do so, Charizard would take 50% upon entry, and then like wouldn't be as big of a threat at all. So that makes sense. I switch out into my Crocodile. It's my designated initial switch into this Charizard. If he has Will-O-Wisp, that's unfortunate, but I really expect him to be more of an offense variant with potentially SD or DD. He goes for the Thunder Punch, which covers the Talonflame staying in as well as the um, Slowbro coming in, but I wouldn't go hard into Slowbro unless I knew that this Charizard didn't pack the Thunder Punch or wasn't an SD variant. Because if he's SD and goes to +2, Thunder Punch is actually a 2 KO on my kind of my variant of Slowbro, I think. So yeah, gotta make sure that that thing doesn't like just knock out my core. So Crocodile comes in with a Cyber. I can just get up my rocks here. I think I go for an Earthquake first. I'm preventing him from staying in. Basically, if he wants to SD, he takes like up to 80%, I think, which would be nice. And now I can go for a knockoff, predicting him to set up rocks, or go for a Toxic, which isn't too bad. He goes for a Toxic, and like I whittle down his Fortress, which is nice, and it's at 54% only. And now I can set up my rocks for free. He gets up his rocks, doesn't matter too much, as I will go into my Licky Licky on this next turn, knowing that he can't really touch me at all. Goes for Toxic, I will go for the Heal Battle on this next turn. Don't lose much by it. If he decides to Rapid Spin, he Rapid Spin. But I could potentially pack the Flamethrower or Fire Blast um, to beat this Fortress. Reuniclus comes in, this thing could potentially set up Carmine to my face, which wouldn't be a problem because Heartswap Megiana can just come in and then like sweep basically, or at least get a kill guaranteed, which would be nice. But I decided to switch out into my Delmai scouting for a Life Orb Focus Blast on a potential Trick Room Reuniclus, and he actually goes for the Focus Blast, which is nice. I can go for a Rapid Spin now, knowing that a Shadow Ball, even modest Life Orb, can't kill me, and yeah, I can go from there. Charizard comes back in. I get rid of the Stealth Rocks, which is nice, and I go into my Crocodile this next turn. Get the Intimidate off. Charizard goes for the Roost, which makes sense. He wants to keep it healthy, so it can always, it can potentially come in on Megiana and like revenge it potentially, and also take hits better from Talonflame potentially or the Slowbro. On this next turn, I predict my opponent to like switch out into Fortress to potentially get rid of the rocks, and I will just go into my Talonflame, which like covers most switches like the Clefable as well as the Fortress, as well as the Tangrowth, which would be a solid switch into Crocodile. I go for Brave Bird here to 2-hit KO him. The crit doesn't matter. Fortress is guaranteed in 2-hit KO range. He fires off Toxic. Doesn't go for Rapid Spin here, which is nice. I'm pretty sure he had it, but didn't go for it because I think getting off a Toxic and chip down my Talonflame like makes more sense for him because I can like always set up rocks with Crocodile again whenever Zard comes in. I can even set them up on potentially Clefable, Reuniclus, Tangrowth, so doesn't really matter too much. Keldeo comes in, I will go hard into my Delmice here. No reason to risk Slowbro yet because it's looking like a clean win condition. And my opponent actually tries to predict my Slowbro and goes for the HP Electric as it looks like. So that works out fine for me. I will go for, I think, a Toxic here, trying to catch the Tangrowth on the switch and works out fine. This thing is put on a timer and I can go back into my Licky Licky. Or can go into my Licky Licky. I don't want to lose any other item than potentially Rocky Helmet on Licky. I can go for a Wish now. Just like get back up to a solid amount as Clefable comes in. Get up the Wish. I will go for for a heal bell on this turn, getting rid of the Toxic on the Talonflame. Get the Wish back, and this Clefable does 21% to my Licky Licky, and this is a modest, or like at least the life of Clefable, I think. I'm pretty sure it's life orb. Definitely does way too much damage with me. Now, like, I get the... You can pass the Wish into my Magearna as Reuniclus comes in. I go for a Flash Cannon because Flash Cannon into Flare Cannon knocks him out. He is a Trick Room variant, as I like kinda expected once he showed off the Focus Blast early in the game, because Focus Blast on Calm Mindset doesn't make sense with my team, because then he wouldn't have Recover. He needs basically Shadow Ball or Signal Beam plus Psychic to hit everything on my team besides the Magearna. If he lacks one of the other two moves, he's hard-walled by either Slowbro or what was it? What if he lacks? If he lacks the Signal Beam or Shadow Ball, he's hard-walled by Slowbro. And if he lacks the Psychic, I think there's one more. He's like kind of hard-walled by Magearna as well, obviously. But there's also another one that like would kind of abuse non-psychic rooms. Well, I forgot. I still don't remember my entire squad, but that is fine. Magearna now can tank the Focus Blast. He gets a crit, which is unfought. Definitely puts him in range for a bunch of attacks, but I can knock out the Reuniclus with the Flare Cannon and kind of abuse the Trick Room now, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Mac gets his first kill of the season, which is nice. Tangrowth comes in. I will go into my Licky Licky here, I think. Just getting, like, just tanking a potential Earthquake. He actually goes for the knockoff, which, yes, was kind of safe, but also kind of risky, because it would have allowed me to get some big chip on this Tangrowth with the Flurk, and even the -1 would have done like 35%, I would say, to an AV Tangrowth, which definitely would have been nice damage. But now I can like just wish up as Charizard comes in. I will go for a safe Dragon Tail on this turn. I don't think he has substitute or anything, and like keeps him low, definitely pressures him with the Rocks up, and he goes for the SD thinking he can set up in my face, but he can't. Keldeo comes in on Dragon Tail, which is nice for me. I can like just go for Protect, scout what this Keldeo can do. I like figure right now this is a Scarf Keldeo because the damage output on Delma is earlier revealed to be like non-boosting items, so I figured Scarf would make sense with my squad, as it revenges some of my faster stuff. He goes for the Hidden Power, which is fine with me. I can go for a Wish now, and he actually stays in, goes for the Hidden Power again. This allows me to Wish Pass into my Magearna, which gives it, like gets it almost back to full. Look at the HP that I get. I get back to 86 and then get leftovers back, and now Zard is back in. Looking at my opponent's team, I kinda need Magearna for Clefable still, but I feel like Slowbro, knowing that this Clefable is a Magic Guard variant, I feel like Slowbro can always beat it. Talonflame can taunt it, so I can like potentially chip it down with Delmice after he kills with Thunderbolt. I can potentially just go for the taunt on his T-Bone and then like go for Anchor Shot, and then like another attack and prevent him from beating me. So, and like looking at my opponent's squad, he really is playing with the back to the wall. He has to make aggressive plays. He has to like keep his Zard healthy in order to like check some stuff, and in order to set up potentially on my Crocodile or my Licky Licky, or even my Slowbro, because I'm only Psyshock, as I said. So like my opponent's best play obviously would be like to either Flare Blitz kill me, but that will just lose him basically his Charizard if I switch into Crocodile, obviously, because of the Recall and the Rocky Helmet. And like otherwise he just has to roost here basically. If he has the Fire Punch, which actually makes sense because I know Sebi doesn't like Recall moves too much. We're pretty similar in that regard. If he goes for the Fire Punch, I'm guaranteed to live it, and if he goes for a Roost, I'm guaranteed to kill with the Flare Cannon. So I decide to stay in and fire the Flare Cannon because I think it's the least likely play that he does is going for Flare Blitz here, because that like just loses his Charizard. So I go for the Flare Cannon. Sebi actually roosts. I get the Flare Cannon off, and I miss, which is unfortunate. It would have guaranteed knocked out the Charizard even if it was a Bull variant. I think it does like 86 to 101% to an uninvested Zard, and I think he has to have quite some quite some speed on his Charizard in order to outspeed Crocodile, for example, to make sure that Zapdos, for example, can't speed creep it, or anything like that. So Flacken probably would have been a kill, but yeah, I missed, which is unfortunate. But I can go to my Crooker now, which is fine. Take the Fire Punch, which I actually would have lived with my Magiana. Get the Rocky Helmet damage off, and now I fire off an Earthquake. No need to over predict here. My opponent actually tries to SD up. Like, I don't know why. Maybe he predicted me to switch out again, trying to like catch the Tangrowth or Clefable on a switch in. But that's not the case. Again, Keldeo comes in and revenges Crocodile. The reason I stayed in is because if he goes for Scald or Icy Wind or whatever, Slowbro has a guaranteed setup with the Calm Mind. I can go for a Calm Mind on a switch into Strangrowth, get off another Calm Mind, maybe get off a third Calm Mind even, and then go for Rest, depending on his investment on Giga Drain, and like can potentially like just set up and win. I also can go into Magiana and claim another kill because like I kind of forgot about regenerate on Tangrowth. Figured it was, I thought it was like 60ish% or 70ish%, but obviously got Regenerator back. But I figured Flurkin just gives me a nice kill here, or I can just like go for a Calm Mind, which is actually the play that I do. Like the choice lock Keldeo gave me so many options here, and I like just chose the safest option again. I would just go for like the Calm Mind here and then see what I want to do. Goes into Tangrowth, obviously, which is a designated switch, but I go for the Calm Mind here. I could go for some hefty damage, I think, but I decided to play it safe. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Talonflame on my opponent's Earthquake, and I will just like fire off a Brave Bird on the next turn, I think. Or no, I think I pull a double, predicting him to go into Clefable or Keldeo potentially. Yeah, he actually goes into Clefable. So Magiana is back in. I go for a Calm Mind, knowing that I can live a Flamethrower or Fire Blast at +1. So, yeah, that's cool. He goes for a Fire Blast and misses. Unfortunate for him, but kind of makes up for the Fire Blast miss. Now I can just fire off a Flash Cannon and 2-hit KO this. Um, 2-hit KO this Tangrowth here. The crit doesn't matter. It would have been a 2-hit KO anyway. Like I get to +2, and now this thing just wins because he has to go into Keldeo. I can fire off a Flare Cannon. Can't knock me out even with a Hydro Pump here. Goes for a Secret Sword. And it's like, yeah, I'm able to knock this out. Get to +1 because obviously the Soul Heart ability is broken. Now Clef is the only thing in the way, and this thing, regardless of how bulky it is, it can't switch it can't take a +1 Flash Can from Big Buddy Magiana here from full. So we take the nice 5-0 win here. Kinda annoying that we got these stupid misses. Like at least could have like altered the differential in Sebi's favor a little, because like if he hits me with the Fire Blast on the Clef, Keldeo can come in and revenge kill with the Sacred Sword. But then again, obviously Talonflame would have won because like Brave Bird would have knocked out the Keldeo or the Tangrowth, and then like it would have been Keldeo against the world, which Slowbro plus Delma is beat guaranteed. So definitely would have won the game anyway without any hacks or whatever. But like kind of makes games less fun in my opinion. But anyway, that's the game. I get a 5-0 win, start strong into the season. I think I'm at 2-0 and +8 right now, so definitely looking solid with the God Squad here. And Magiana showing off why it's a busted mon. It should be banned in most leagues, but I'm really happy to have it on my squad. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. What to say? I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like in the comment if you did, and I catch you on the next battle. See ya.